Hey there, welcome to this video where we are going to be talking about the truth about overeating, why we do it, and 7 ways that you can overcome this issue. You can overcome this problem that can lead to obesity, that can lead to other diseases due to obesity, that can lead to a shorter lifespan, right? Because nobody wants to overeat. If you're constantly overeating, there is an underlying factor that needs to be addressed, right? Because we all know that if you're overeating, if you're eating too much, if you're gaining weight, that the amount of food needs to be limited, right? But there's more to it than just that, right? So let's first talk about why people overeat, because we need to find out what is contributing to this behavior before we just say, don't overeat, right? There is that behavior of overeating, but why do people overeat? One of the most common ones is emotional stress, right? When you're stressed, when you're feeling anxious, when you're having these feelings where there's nowhere to turn and it's food is your outlet, right? Biochemical imbalances, feelings of loneliness or depression, changes in hormones and neurotransmitter levels, and certain nutritional deficiencies such as vitamin D. These are all just a handful of reasons why people overeat. Okay. So let's talk about 7 ways to actually stop overeating and 7 ways that you can conquer this issue, this problem that can lead to a shortened lifespan, that can lead to trouble health-wise in your life. So the number 1 way is to be mindful of your food. And I know this is such a oversimplified tip, an oversimplified way, but it's really important to pause and consider what's driving this behavior, what's driving your food choices, right? Have you ever actually sat down and thought about it? What is driving this? Is it stress? Is it boredom, right? Once we recognize the underlying cause, then it's important to try to find a healthier way to cope with those feelings, right? Or to cope with what is causing that, right? Whether it's physical activity or talking to a friend or relaxation techniques, whatever it is. But it all starts with being mindful, being aware of your food and taking the time to think about, what am I feeling right now that's making me make this choice, right? Number 2 is to set realistic goals for yourself, right? It's really important to have realistic goals about your eating habits, and especially when you're making changes in your eating habits, right? Because old habits take time and patience to replace them, right? So try not beating yourself up if you have setbacks and just focus on the progress that you're making over time, okay? Because I know it can be easy to give up if you're going slowly, right? It can be easy to have a setback and just stop and just give up. That can be easy, but set realistic goals for yourself, because realistically, something like that is probably going to happen. Issues are going to come up, things are going to come up, you're going to slip up. But if you look at the long-term timeline of your life, as long as you keep picking yourself up and are realistic about every single day, every week, every month, every year, you will get to where you want to be. Number 3 is to make sure that you're getting enough sleep, right? Because sleep regulates our appetite. This is so undervalued. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep, because lack of sleep can lead to an increased hunger. And when we sleep, leptin levels increase and activate an area of the brain actually called the hypothalamus to send signals to decrease hunger and burn more fat, right? So that's really important. If we're not doing that efficiently, properly, there's going to be issues. There's going to be overeating. There's going to be increased hunger, right? There's going to be more slowing down of your metabolism. There's going to be more storage of excess fat in your body, right? Because leptin actually causes us to feel full longer and burn away more fat. So we want to make sure that those are all regulated, those are all working efficiently for us. Number 4 is to find outlets for stress and other negative emotions, right? Because if you're feeling these negative emotions when you're overeating, it's important to find an alternative to those negative emotions rather than ordering a bunch of food, going to McDonald's, going to Wendy's, right? So whether it's taking a new hobby or talking to a therapist or, different exercises, different mindful exercises, it's important to find an outlet for those emotions if you're having those emotions, okay? Number five is to identify the triggers, right? Before we actually are overeating, what are the triggers? Are there certain foods? Are there certain situations, social situations that are leading you to overeating, right? And if you can't avoid those triggers that are causing that overeating, then it's important to plan ahead of time and make sure to have healthier choices or to have a backup plan if dealing with that, or if you have to deal with that urge to overeat, right? Have a plan, and that's really important. Number 6 is to get support. All right. I think getting support from friends and family is so important because it can be so helpful to talk to someone that truly loves you, that is trusted, and that can offer encouragement for you along the way, along your journey, right? Or you can join a group of other people that struggle with a similar issues, similar things, right? And maybe someone is further ahead, further down in that journey that can mentor you, that can help you, that can give you words of wisdom, a piece of advice, and not be judged for overeating, not be judged for, having these behaviors, having these feelings, right? And number 7 is to consider a therapist, right? And I'm saying consider it, right? So a therapist or some kind of professional can really offer very valuable guidance, support, and strategies for you to overcome overeating. And someone like a cognitive behavioral therapist can be really, really beneficial if you're struggling uh, with an eating disorder or compulsive overeating. They can actually help you to identify the underlying issues and work with you through a healthy way. Okay, if you cannot overcome this on your own, or if you need help, there's nothing wrong with reaching out for help from friends and family or for a therapist that has seen this before, that can give you strategies, give you work to do, that can make you overcome this with ease. Okay? So, do you have any tips for overcoming overeating and eating too much? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear them. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.